Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Joni, and today I'm going to show you guys how to paint this pretty painting on a gold primed canvas. So I've got an 11 by 14 double primed and stretched canvas here, and I'm going to be using some gold by Liquitex Basics Acrylic to prime the canvas with. I'm just going to directly squeeze it onto the canvas. Take one of my large brushes. This is a number 50 filbert, no water. If you add water, it's going to alter the sheen and metallic effects of the gold paint. So what I'll do is completely cover this, and then I'll dry it off, and then I'll be coming in with the next stages of this painting. And now for a little bit of extra gold touches, I'm going to be using some of my gold mica powder. This is still wet, so I can use that to help this stick to. And I've only got a little bit left in here, so what I'm going to do is just very loose and free, just sort of toss that on there, or take a soft fan brush that's dry, any kind of soft brush. Okay, it's all dry now, and I'll just take it out of my easel here and kind of show you guys how pretty it looks. It looks like gold leaf, and then there's just an extra shimmery spot right here. So I thought I would just kind of show you guys the difference. So the three colors for sure that I'm going to be using are light blue, violet, neon pink, and neon yellow. I'll be adding a little bit of titanium white as well. I'm also going to be using some burnt sienna and Mars Black by Golden Acrylics for the branches. I'll also be using just a little bit of my light olive green by Liquitex Basics Acrylic. I'm going to start off with my size 0, number 0 filbert brush. If you guys don't have one of these, you can use a round brush or just any small ended brush like this, just for creating your branch. So the first color I'm going to be using is burnt sienna. And I think I'll start my branch from the corner here. So I'm just going to gently push, wiggle, and see with that gold underneath showing through, we get some lighter tones of that burnt sienna, which is quite nice. And then I'm going to load my brush on the tip and use less pressure, so just the tip of my brush to make these smaller, more delicate branches. I'm going to add another one right in here. Make it a little bit thicker, and then ease off on the pressure and just use the tip of my brush. I'm going to have another one coming from under here, going through. A little bit of water to mix with your paint will help it flow nicely. Let's have another one coming down through here. going to take some of my black now. I'll mix it with that burnt sienna. And we'll just take over one side. Just rinsing my brush out in between, just so that I don't accumulate too much high up in the brush and possibly ruin it. Okay, now I'm going to take some of the green, a little bit of black and burnt sienna, add a little stem, gently push, push, wiggle, twisting that off, push, wiggle, let off, and then you can always go back and add a little bit more of the green. And I think it looks really pretty having a bit of that gold showing through. The way it's kind of see-through. So it's nice to have a little bit of black in there, even a little bit of that brown like I mentioned. And then gently push, wiggle, and then let off and kind of twist off. And then when you get the hang of it, you can start painting them a little bit quicker. And layer over a few so they're not looking too thought out and placed so perfectly. You know, you want to make it a little bit random and messy and natural looking. You can add little hints of green along the ends of the branches too. Just for where that new growth is. I'm just using a little bit of white in here for some areas that I want to make more opaque. See how these are all a little see-through? So by adding a bit of titanium white to those colors, we can change that. And I don't want to completely cover up all of the see-through areas because I like that it's letting that gold kind of show through, but I want to have some lighter tones in here. Okay, I've chosen a number 10 filbert brush for the flower petals, for the larger flowers. And I'll go back to my 0 size filbert brush for the smaller ones. I just got my brush a little bit wet. It's just damp, there's no drips. And I'm gonna take a little bit of white and pink here. Teeny tiny bit of that blue. A bit more white. Okay, and I'm just going to start gently pushing, wiggling, twisting, just for some really basic, simple flower petals. Wiggle, let off. Don't be afraid to go over top of some of those leaves. I'm getting more white each time. It's a little bit thicker on the tip of my brush. And then we'll just continue adding some smaller ones. I may not even need to go back over to my smaller brush. Let's just mix a little bit of blue in here. If you use very little pressure, then you can control the size of the petals and flowers you're making. So just using more of the tip of the brush. Could add some peachy ones now. That yellow mixed with a little bit of pink. You can go inside some of them and just push and tap, little pushes and taps like that. It's up to you how many flowers you want to add. Add a little bit more blue in here. More of a purple color. And then you'll just naturally get a little bit quicker each time you start adding them. You'll just get more comfortable with the feel of the brush. And they don't have to be perfect. I like those ones that are a little bit messy looking. Just taking some white, adding a little bit to the tip of my brush like this, and then gently sort of outlining some of those petals to make them stand out. There's so many easy ways to make little details on flowers. And then if you want to have it a little bit lighter and gradually get darker in the center, just really lightly pick up a little bit underneath and pull in. Make some more a lavender color here. Just pulling into that pink and blue, crisscrossing to load, working it out on my brush, getting a nice amount. Push tap. You can do double blooming flowers. And then go in with a little bit of white. Let's take some more pink this time. We'll layer some in here. Have some going right off the edge of the canvas. Back over to my size 0 filbert brush. Take a little bit of white on here. Come inside these petals. Push, wiggle, let off, push, wiggle, let off. Sort of like painting the leaves, but we're not twisting. Push, let off, push. I'm going to add a little bit more white over top of some of the flowers, and also just some extra ones. Now I'm picking up a little, it's really tinted white because I'm picking up each time I add some. I'm picking up some other colors within these flowers that I'm layering over. Pick up white and the blue. A little bit of pink. I'm going to take a bit of pink and blue. Just go around the edges here. And come in with a little bit of white, tap, 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 and a little circle in the center of the flower. And then blue, or blue and pink for the very center with that little white circle around. Okay, added a little bit more of my light olive green. Take a bit of yellow, olive green, and white. So we've really got like a green gold here. And we're just gonna add some more inside these leaves. Make them a little bit more three-dimensional. Add a little bit to the branch as well. A little bit more of the yellow. A little bit more white. So see the difference? This one's a little bit warmer, more on the gold side. And just follow these branches. Wiggle, wiggle. A little bit more blue. And I like the blue, this blue violet with the gold background because it's really complementary. I'm going to use a little liner brush with a little bit of black. And a little bit of my green. I'm just going to add a few little dabs, little lines that come out of the center of the flowers. And then I'll take a bit of white and I'll tap the tops of them just to give these a little bit more dimension. You can add a little curve to them. You can make them longer if you want. But you've got to have a darker base than what the flowers are so that they really show up. So that's why I used a little bit of black in there. Added dabs here, and now I'm going to come in with the little lines. I need a little bit more black for those to show up. You could use different colors for the little dots on top. Make them yellow or pastel, any kind of pastel color. I'm gonna mix up some more of that black and that green, and add a little bit more to some of these. Add with a little bit more white and my green. I'll add another highlight. bit more black with the green. And just come right underneath. Right off the end here. A little bit more of that highlight color. Okay, I'm just taking it out of the easel now and moving it around so that you can see just how shimmery and pretty it is. It's just such a soft, pretty gold when the light hits it from all the different angles. I'm definitely going to be doing more of these in the future. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching this one and you have fun experimenting with your metallic paints. You could use opalescent, iridescence, silver, rose gold, copper. There's many different ones out there to choose from. And be sure to share your versions up on our Facebook group. I love seeing them. See you guys soon in another video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.